Hello everyone. So the topic today we will be talking about is India-China relations. Okay. So we know very well that India and China has a strained relations, but in the beginning the relations between India and China were not the same. Actually when China came into origination, like China has liberated itself from ROC, that is Republic of China, which is named as Taiwan or Formosa in earliest place. Okay, that China was controlled by Sun Yat-sen. Okay, but in 1949, China has a peasant revolution, and this has led to Free China, and PRC has came into origination. PRC means People's Republic of China. So here are the few points which I will be covering in this topic, and for more exclusive videos which will be covering all other areas like what are the present tensions, what we need to actually look at India China relations, everything will be devised in our upcoming videos. Okay, so here is all about the topic. So People's Republic of China, as we know that it was formed in 1949. So in the very beginning, India and China had a very cordial relation. So India also received its independence in 1947, and we have Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as our prime minister. So in the beginning, the bonhomie between India and China was very close. So we used to call it Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai as the slogan itself named. So in the very second phase, we can see that who was the chairman of China? The chairman means like we have president, so China has its own chairman. And remember one thing, China was formed on the basis of Chinese Communist Party. Okay, China has only single party government, and the name of the party is Chinese Communist Party, and the leader of that party, basically the chairperson was Mao Zedong, and it's named as Mao Tisang. Okay, became its chairman. So then we have talked about Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai because it was for the first time that China has received its acceptance as an independent state. Like in order to make a state independent, if a state is declaring itself as an independent state, so one sovereign state has to accept it as independent. Okay, so India has given that acclamation, and after that China became independent. But however, we know that there was a problem. Problem was that India and China has its buffer, and the buffer zone was named as Tibet. We know that Tibet is very famous for the Buddhist pilgrimages, and there we have Dalai Lama and all his supporting members who were devolved into the phases of meditations and worshipping of Lord Buddha. But China never recognized the buffer between which was created by the Britishers in between India and China. China soon annexed the territory in 1950, thereby creating a political chaos. Okay, so while so the tensions was erupting as China has seized the territory of Tibet into its own grip, and then we have seen that Dalai Lama has fled from Tibet and has asked Nehru to provide him with asylum. Asylum means political acceptance of some refugees who comes from a distant land or who flees from because of political turbulences. Okay, so Nehru has welcomed Dalai Lama, and soon thereafter, China and India had their relations on setbacks. Okay, then we can see that Panchil. Panchil was a Niti, which was Niti means principle, which was signed in 1955. So, sorry, 1954. The main reason for the signing of Panchil was basically to it was a principle of peaceful coexistence, and there was five principle which basically meant to provide a peaceful coexistence for both India and China, and thereby India and China has deliberately attempted to resolve the disputes by assigning themselves to five principles of peaceful coexistence, which mean non-interference in each other territory, mutual respect for territorial integrity and sovereignty, non-interference in each other's personal affairs, and this in this way there are five principles which define the India as well as the Chinese interest. Okay, So then we will understand, like, the Panchil has not been successful between India and China, because in 1957 Chou Enlai came into India, and he has basically brought the map which China has produced, and there we have found that our present Arunachal Pradesh and its neighboring territories are into the Chinese map, where China is showing that this is the southern part of Tibet, which China calls it as Aksai Chin. AKSAICHIN, very important. So if you are preparing for your exams, you need to know the name. It is known as Aksai Chin. But at that time, India used to call Arunachal Pradesh as NIFA, Northeast Frontier Agency. Okay, so Indian government did not accept the claim of China that we will be harboring our Arunachal Pradesh into China's territory. So Indian government soon rejected the claim, and Chou Enlai went. And after 1958, we have seen that Chinese forces were soon getting into the territory of Arunachal Pradesh, and they were trying to capture the capture the hills, especially the places like Bumla Pass, Bomdila, and other areas. So we know that Indian soldiers were very efficient during the Second World War. They have served into the various convoys of the Britishers, bringing great victories for the Britishers. But Indian soldiers were not capable to chase Chinese soldier at the time, because they do not have that amount of training which is needed to fight the Chinese soldiers into the mountains. So basically they used to have do not have proper shoes, proper dresses. So you know that in order to climb the huge mountains, you need to you need to put on your gears, and then only you can do. Okay, so obviously the Chinese who have already get into the territory. So if you will visit Arunachal Pradesh, there is a place like Harbhajan Singh, then Joginder Singh. So these are the war memorial, like they have given their life fighting the Chinese, arrays of armies who have entered into the places. And then you can know about the stories. If you're interested, you can visit Tawang, Arunachal, and then you can have a first hand experiences. This is from my experiences which I am sharing basically. So there China has actually encapsulated the area, causing a huge huge casualty of Indian soldiers. And after that, what has happened, like this erupted severe violations of violence into the territory, and then India was forced to ask help from the US. And when US has declared that that US fleet will basically mm, will fleet will basically take off and will cover the areas by bringing China down. The time Chinese soldiers moved out, and this incident, basically the Chinese war of 1962 has created a havoc, and it has also paralyzed the relation which we have developed over the decades with China. India and China are the both century old civilizations. We know we have many travelers like Fa Hian and others into our places. Indian, like Buddhism, has spread to the far distant land of China, but the Chinese war has made a scar, and with that, we know that our foreign policy has come into a close with after the war of 1962, with the death of the Indian Prime Minister, like um, Jawaharlal Nehru. We know that our foreign policy has been reinvested into a different dimensions. Okay, and after that, we have seen that in various wars and war mechanization, China and Pakistan's closeness has created the Sino-Pak axis. Okay, and in fact, it is said that China has helped Pakistan in developing its nuclear arsenals, and which Pakistan has exploded in 1998 in its soon after India has launched its second attack on nuclear. Basically, India has second tested its nuclear devices, and after that, Pakistan has gone nuclear, and China has helped Pakistan. So, for more such insightful knowledge, you need to follow this channel. If you like the content, subscribe, and we will cover the next topic, like what is the challenges which China basically posed to India post 1960s, and how far the India China relations has been so far. Okay, so if you are interested to know part by part, I'll be uploading the videos twice a week. So if you're glad to know, just let me know by your comments. Thank you so much. Thank you.